Eric here with Courageous Conviction. This is the first of many series we're going to offer like this. This is our Greece series. There'll be a Greece 1, Greece 2. We start in the birthplace of democracy, Athens. We head out to an end where the OG of freedom defense took place with Sparta and where Leonidas and his 300 died. We will stand on that what I consider to be as well as sacred ground. These men were valiant and they were examples to us today. So in this is not necessarily a spiritual aspect, but still includes the Father's kingdom and his doctrines of the kingdom, as section 88, 77 through 81 details that we need to learn about. So please subscribe, like, pass this on. We hope you enjoy it. Let us know how you feel in the comments below. Again, this is the first of many series we've been talking about. Coming up is our South America Ecuadorian stuff that we're going to do some Book of Mormon stuff. So pay attention, stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy this series, starting off with Greece. Behind me here is a statue of Leonidas. We're in Sparta, Greece. We can learn a lesson from Leonidas. His bravery, his courage in taking on the foe of Persia, something that nobody thought they could overcome, an army of millions. What we have here at the base of this statue of Leonidas, Molon Lave, come take them. He's talking about his weapons when they were told to surrender them against the Persian army. We today need to have this same attitude that Leonidas had when it comes to our freedoms, when it comes to our cryptocurrencies, and when it comes to our weapons of defense. Molon Lavid, come take them. I want to talk more today and get into about how we need to be more masculine again and bring masculinity back into the United States of America and into our families and our homes to protect our families and homes like Leonidas did. This is a great example for us over 2,000 years ago that was set and memorialized here in this statue. As we're sitting here getting ready to film, we had to let various people come in here and take pictures. There's nothing here to commemorate these great battles, this great general. However, people come because of the spirit of this man, the bravery of this man. A tour bus is leaving right now. A whole tour bus, there's 2 tour buses here to remember the hero that once stood ground to save property and family and rights of freedom. We in America need to learn to be like Leonidas. Learn this example from this great Greek general. I want to talk a little more today and give a few more ideas on what we can do as a people, as men, as leaders in our household. And I say that in a way of responsibility. Take responsibility. Let's get into that a little more today, and let's talk about what I feel we need to do as Americans to save our country and our freedoms and our property and our family unit. Before I jump into the video though, I ran in here to ancient Sparta real quick. I want you to see down below where they're excavating, there is ancient Sparta. So some of the stuff you see up here behind me would have come about in later years, right? But down below, you're starting to get towards the days of Leonidas. Going back, 300-400 years before Christ. I don't know the exact date, but I just want to show you that before I jump in the video. I just think it's really interesting, just really cool to be here and feel the spirit of place and feel what these people stood for and the strength they had and what we can learn from them from so long ago to today. So now let's get back to getting into a little bit what we can do different and bring back masculinity and be men and be strong women as well. Let's talk about that. Keep going here with the video. I just wanted to show you this. It's really cool. So I'm going to walk and talk a little bit here. I was going to go back to our Airbnb and talk a little bit about what inspires us. I'm walking here and you can see it's just these ruins and just to know where this great people, these strong people of heart and warriors of heart. I mean, we know there are warriors. I'm not talking about we need to become warriors and rise up, but we need to be able to stand up in our day and age. And unfortunately, if that even means shedding our blood to defend freedom and freedom and righteous things, then we would need to do that. But we need to be willing to do that. We don't want to run to that. That's the last thing we want to do. Please don't mistake my words. But what can we do? Well, first of all,
We need to put morals back in our society. Texas just passed a law, whether you like it or don't like it, where the Ten Commandments now need to be on the walls of all the schools, the education system. Ten Commandments. Our founding fathers, whether you know this or not, they actually advocated for that the Ten Commandments needed to be in the school systems. And they wanted that, and they imagined it always would be that way. The Ten Commandments are pretty general. They're basic rules that govern our society. And our morals and our ethics from the United States of America and the idea of freedom comes based off of those Ten Commandments. A lot of people don't realize that. I'm not going to get deep into that. But we need to get back into supporting ethics, into standing for something. We're so concerned now that we're going to be canceled out that we don't do things. And it's crazy. Today, even, I was at a store in Corinth, and I was talking to a Greek woman, and she started a conversation, and she started going into how they're, this is the cradle of democracy that was here, where it started, but they're far from democratic. They're very socialist, and they don't have the freedoms and so forth. And she was talking about that, and then she was asking me some questions about the Second Amendment and the gun rights in the United States. And she said to me, "That's a horrible way to start democracy, where the people have weaponry, to where if the government tries to take their freedoms, they can rise up against them. That's not how you start democracy." And I said, "Oh no, that's exactly how you keep a democracy. That's why democracy doesn't live." And a true democracy, I'm talking about a democratic republic, right? That's what we truly are as Americans, a democratic republic. That means we as Americans, we need to be responsible. We need to take responsibility for working. Men, provide for our families. Not just provide financially, and not just provide in leadership roles. Those are important. But we need to provide for our families in all aspects of being a man, of protecting them as well. And that means protecting them from our kids coming from school. We need to sit down with our kids. What are you learning? Get involved with school. Get involved with what's being taught in school. Because we're not. I've been in school 3 times now. My wife goes in there, God bless her. She goes and she doesn't quite understand, and she doesn't know how to argue or should say debate or stand for the principles with the principal at the school. And he kind of pushes around a little bit. He can be intimidating. I have a good relationship with him. We kind of banged heads in the beginning. We had another video on that. But we have a dialogue now, and that's what we got to get back to. So this liberal woman comes into the store, and I was explaining about gun rights and how the United States of America is pushing to actually remove our gun rights. And this liberal just jumps in on my conversation. American. I'm in freaking Corinth, Greece. And a liberal just comes in there and attacks me and just verbally abuses me and just calling me names and basically telling me I'm closed-minded and blah, blah. It's just all we really want in the blue states. We want gun control. We're not advocating that they take your guns away. And I tried to explain to her, but she just turned to me, said nasty things to me, and just threw her hands up in the air and literally darted out the store, ran out the store, and just, no. And that's what happens. The other side right now, well, not in a dialogue. That's why I don't want to live with or coexist around people that think, and I said this before in the video, think so differently. They oppose our Constitution. I don't want to be around those kind of people. I've lived like that. I've lived this kind of people for 20 years of my life. And that's not something I want. And this is why red states are forming. And they will continue to form. Mark my words on this. They'll continue to form. The store owner, lady at the store, was saying to me, how do you base a democracy off of gun rights? And I simply said to her, the gun rights are to protect us from a tyrannical government. And that maintains democracy. If we wouldn't have had gun rights, the United States of America would have fallen already. And that's true. Now, do I have any evidence on that to say, hey, we would have fallen already? No. But most likely, the United States of America would have fallen. I'm sorry, I meant to grab my camera. My hand's getting tired here holding this. I'm just walking through. I didn't plan on finishing the video here. But I think it's an apropos place. Look at this olive tree behind me. It just feels so good to be in here, knowing what these people stood for, what they battle against. Look up you've seen the movie 300. Okay, there's some Hollywood in there, but the idea of Leonidas, the actual action of Leonidas, what he did, what the Spartan people did. Now, they didn't go and save Athens, but Athens also didn't help against Persia, and Athens fell because of that, right? So you can say, well, he was just more focused on defending himself. It's funny because our founding fathers said the same thing, that we should not get involved with wars of other countries. We should worry about protecting only the United States of America, and all of our resources go to that and maintaining the prosperity and freedoms of Americans and protecting our borders and sovereignty. That's what our founding fathers fought for, died for, bled for, and starved for. Washington basically was broke by the time he died, and the banks took everything. So basically, what can we do? We need to get back to principles. We do. Men, be masculine. You can date your wife, that's fine. But you need to also lead your family, work with your wife, teach your children, spend time with them. Let's not be so caught up keeping up with the Joneses, our neighbors. We're too much wrapped up in ourselves, and we just don't want to see it. I try to talk to people about blockchain and what's coming, the good and bad of centralized and decentralized blockchain. I've mentioned in other videos. A lot of people don't want to hear it. Why? Because they're afraid of it. They're afraid of it. We are living in fear. The Spartans did not live in fear. As Leonidas said, they basically said, put down your weapons, surrender to us, and basically they'll be subjects to them. Leonidas said, come take my weapons. You come take them from me. And that's the same idea we need to have as Americans. Now, I'm not talking about weapons. I'm talking about our freedom. I'm talking about across the board. And those weapons are included in those freedoms. Freedom of property, rights, etc. I've watched how these countries take property. I've lost property in Central America. Even South America right now, I'm going through the property that's being stolen from me. And the courts allow it to happen because of bias. Because, well, he's American. He can recover from it. This guy's not. We'll give it to him. It's that whole idea. No. It's time we start saying, that's enough. Enough's enough. And we need to, I'm sorry I'm shaking here, but my hand is like tired. But we need to actually take stance. We got to get into principles. We are becoming an atheistic nation. I don't care if you believe the same thing I believe. Just believe that there is life after death. Just believe that this life has a purpose to it. If you don't want to believe in life after death, that's fine. But this life has a purpose. And the number one purpose of this life, what creates America, what creates cohesiveness in a society is the family unit. And we need to develop that family unit. I have failed many times. I've been divorced a couple times. So I'm not a perfect person to be talking about this, but I've learned my lesson. And even though things are, honestly, my marriage now is probably the most difficult marriage of my marriages. But yet I know that I'm not going to walk away from my family. I'm not going to walk away from my role as a husband and a role of a father. I'm going to be that role. I'm going to be there. And that doesn't mean we make every baseball game. That doesn't mean we make every ballet show because we're working or we're doing things for them. But we make an effort to be there, and we make an effort to spend time with our kids. I try to spend time with my children every night, even if it's only for an hour with both my little ones. I'm traveling right now with my oldest son, my twin boys, one of them, who's in college right now. He wanted to do this. He brought me here because he thought, Dad, you'll love this. This is the cradle of democracy. Let's go. So he planned for 2.5 years, and we're here. And I tell you something, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be here as a father. I'm thrilled to be here to feel this, to see this a great example, and to be with my son traveling right now. That's what we need to be doing. We work. We take responsibility. Let's let our wives, and we help them, but let our family raise our children, not other people, not the schools, and not the government. And that's what we need to stand for. Get involved in our children's lives. They're our future. We need to teach them. If you want to save our Constitution, if you want to save America, then get involved with your children and their lives and your family. Be a family unit. And that's what I've said. It's that simple. And believe and hope and do not fear. Don't fear. What's the worst thing that happened to us? We died defending something great and noble. Leonidas was over 2,000 years ago. And he's a statue, and tour buses are coming here just to take a picture because this man stood for something. He stood for something good, and that was family, the right of property, and the right to be free people. We need to do the same thing here in America. At DeFi IoT, please do me a favor. Hit that subscription button. We're doing a whole Greek experience here for the next 10 days, and then we're back to home. And that's why we haven't been doing a lot of videos, because we're doing a lot of work so we can come on this trip. Hit the subscribe button, like us. And give me your comments down below. What do you think? What else can we do to take responsibility, be responsible citizens of a democratic republic? That means responsible citizens. I mean, we take responsibility for our actions, not the government. We don't depend on anybody. We help each other. That's where brotherhood comes in, and that's what we would be as Americans. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We have many more like it on the Greece series. There's a total of about 6 or 7 that will come out in the Greece series. We'll have more coming up on the Book of Mormon series coming out in the next month or two. We have a lot of things we're going to go see down there, showing you evidences of the people of the Book of Mormon and the veracity of that book today. So you're not going to want to miss this. So make sure you subscribe down below. It's free. Like, send this out to others. We're going to help build your testimony. Again, Greece was not necessarily spiritual, but remember, we're to learn about history, things of the past. That's section 88. This helps us to learn so we know where to gauge going forward and how to vote at the voting blocks. We'll see you on our next adventure and our next video.